Money on my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. You gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What is good, everyone? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are here for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. Before we get into it, I want to give you a reminder. Go ahead and hit that like button on your way in. If you've been here more than twice, welcome to the Wolf Pack. Tap that subscribe button. Don't forget while doing that to hit the bell, the little bell next to subscribe. Then turn all notifications on. I do not flood your feed. I promise. I'm not one of those people who's here every day. And even if I was here every day, the topic would change daily. Anyways, and there would be some good game. Also, last but not least, for those of you who have been in the Wolf Pack already, this is the beginning of the episode reminder as this is premiering. Go ahead and kick that out. Share the video with your guys' networks because it's important. We need to get out in the algorithm. You know, we're getting some videos that are getting some traction. I'm liking it. I'm loving the conversation that we're having within the video. We're starting to have people shoot some emails over, tapping in with me over on Instagram. You know, I don't have a lot of followers on X. It's probably because I don't have a verified account, but like everyone has a verified account right now. And, you know, I'm working, I'm trying to get out of the rat race. I do not have money to spend on like a bazillion verifications to like verify myself on all these platforms. Like that's insane to me, but I understand the value in it. If you live on the internet, I don't live here. So I will not be doing that, but I do try to be active over on X as well. And yeah, it's kind of, I've been trying to force myself to make more comments, but it's like no matter what you do on X now, if you're not verified, it doesn't really matter. Like you don't see posts from people getting traction, getting seen, or any of those things unless they pay. And you know, it's a successful business model. It works, and everyone's paying for it. So yeah, kudos to them for that. But I don't think I'll probably ever get to the point where I'll get monetized on X. I'll definitely be monetized over here on YouTube well before I'm ever close to monetized over on X. But if you want to give me a follow over on X, I am trying to be more active over there. And at least at this juncture, that is where I am dropping my daily buys and sells. I'm also sharing it in my stories over on Instagram. So like if you guys aren't tapped in with me on Instagram, it's a public platform. Like you don't have to necessarily follow. Well, I mean, I guess if you want to see my stuff, you should follow me, but you don't have to. But I do it in my stories over there. Also, sometimes I'm terrible at social media. I'm a geriatric millennial, apparently, because we got label everything. And I'm not good at social media. I actually just go do stuff and then remember how awesome it was. Like I don't document every single thing that I'm doing, which I'm also trying to get better at, I guess. I got to get, since I'm on here, I got to get better at it. But I suck at it. But I do post my daily around lunchtime. You'll see my buy, what I bought, and if I sold anything, I do that post and I share it in my stories from Twitter. And I also do my weekly weigh-ins. I weigh myself every Monday. Not that I care about what I weigh. I have a scale that does my body fat percentage, which actually I do care about. And so it kind of lets me know where I'm at. And honestly, for the weight, I'm trying to gain weight. It's like really hard because I don't like eating. But I love working out. So that's a very weird conundrum. But I'm not like, I got to over 200 pounds and I've really been trying my darndest to keep it. Because I heard on the interwebs that if your boyfriend's under 200 pounds, you have a girlfriend. And I was like, you know, eventually I'll be in a relationship. So I don't want her to have a girlfriend. So I got to over 200 pounds and I'm trying my darndest to keep it. So I weighed in today at 203, which normally it fluctuates between 200 and I'm trying to get to 215, but like it's like between 200. I think the highest I've gotten is 210, but I also try to keep my body fat percentage low for personal reasons. I mean, Honestly, fat, reckless, rate and narrow doesn't really look too much different. It's just less definition, I guess, if you would. But and it's all based on how active I am. So like if I start missing my gym sessions or I'm not training or I'm not doing my dance training and stuff, I don't I'll gain weight and I'll gain body fat percentage. But it won't necessarily perceptively look different. It's just like if I'm, for instance, if I was at the pool and I have my shirt off, I'm less cut. So like those are just like random stuff that I put on my Instagram. Like, I'm sorry for going on a tangent. It's what I do over here. Hurry up and get to the stuff. Let's get to the stuff. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up my CoinGecko page so that we can get started. I decided to record this on Monday because it'll get out of the way, because like I might have stuff to do Tuesday, or I could be working late. So it's just a lot easier for me to knock these out earlier rather than later. Now that I'm ahead on our future financial strategies episodes, it's giving me a little leeway. I still don't want to record on Sunday because Sunday's been a really weird day in the market. Like this Sunday, we were inching towards all-time highs. It was great. It was great. Saw some numbers that we hadn't seen in a while. I think we touched $107,000 for Bitcoin, which is awesome. We've been holding over $100,000 Bitcoin. Great. At the time of this recording, we're back up to 106.61. Bitcoin is at $160,061. Kudos. We made it. We're here. Those of us whole coiners are great. No coiners, you're gonna be here eventually, and it's the price of the bag is ever going up. And for those of you who are on your journey, keep stacking those sats, man. And I can't stress how important this is, because this is not a game where everyone gets to win. This is a wealth transition. It's called the 1% for a reason. Those of us who have over a whole Bitcoin are going to be in the new 1% at a certain juncture, provided we do not capitulate and sell. We're talking about an asset class that's going to be at least, I'm not even going to say at least $1 million. $1 million is inevitable. They're talking 10, 13 million. Imagine becoming a deca-millionaire for just buying an asset and holding on to it until it became over $10 million. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. There was never enough to go around to begin with. Those of us who have an entire coin, because there's companies right now that have hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. The opportunity is fading for you to get a whole one. And I understand that that is a little thorn in some of your sides, but it's just reality. There's just not enough to go around. The price of the bag's going up. Not most people, most average people, no one I know in my social class, because I do know people outside of my social class that could go buy a Bitcoin right now if they wanted to. No one that I know, no one in any place that is working where I'm working, and we are pretty well paid. In all honesty, in my opinion, I mean, I don't know. Everybody complains about what they get paid. I complain about what I get paid, but I'm within the ballpark of the bare minimum I need to consistently show up and actually, care. So, and no one I know could just go grab another Bitcoin. I can't just go grab, well, actually, yeah, I could. I could go grab another Bitcoin, but I would have to like leverage my house, empty out my brokerage account, and probably sell everything that's laying around in my house right now, which I need to do anyway to convert into more shares of Misty so I can get some more cash flow going. But I would have to make some adjustments, some major adjustments to facilitate and pull that off. And most people are not in a position to do that. The plus side of Bitcoin is the barrier of entry for it is super low, which means you can buy Satoshis, which is like little fractions, little specks of a Bitcoin. And those also go up in value because it's Bitcoin. It's just smaller portions of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole one. You don't have to have as it sits right now, $106,061 to go buy Bitcoin. You can just go in there with $5. You can go in there with $10, $20, $1. I think they'll let you do transactions that low. I'm not sure what the minimum is, but it's like $5. You can start buying some Bitcoin. And then you just sit on it and you wait. And then eventually it's worth more money. I mean, I understand that sounds like crazy, but when something is deflationary versus inflationary, it goes up in value over time. You buy it, you look away, you come back, it's worth more than what you left. Like all those, when I was young, they used to always have these little periodicals in Forbes. And I now realize that it had to have been marketing. It had to have been creative marketing. Of people who are like, hey, I opened a bank account and I left my money in the bank and it was $1,000 when I left it. And 30 years later, I went back and it was $500,000. Like that's literally impossible. Like even with compound interest, it don't work like that. But I thought it was pretty novel. Now, Bitcoin, you could actually have that story. That could be a story as Bitcoin goes up in value, depending on where you bought it. I know the Bitcoin that I bought is way higher now than what it was, and it's never getting touched. It's in cold storage. I look at it once a month to just add up for my net worth calculation. That's my checkup on it. And outside of that, it's in cold storage. So those are it's just so pivotal and so important, and I can't stress enough. Obviously, if you're watching the show, you're at least into crypto, or you're following me because of my Misty stuff, and coming to find out that like we don't just do one thing over here. We are incorporating all the strategies because this is future financial strategy. So we're on the bleeding edge. All the stuff that people say doesn't work. Now, obviously, that narrative's changing for Bitcoin, but in 2013, when I first got into Bitcoin, everyone told me I was insane. And everyone also told me I was going to lose all my money. And then fast forward to now, I'm a genius. Well, I'm not. I'm a genius to some people. Some people are just begrudgingly upset that we just keep winning. And, you know, we're kind of winning so much that we're almost sick of it. But we're not quite sick enough of it because I still have to go to work. And eventually, probably within the next 27 months, I will get to a point where I will have won so much that I will not have to go to a job that I don't want to or do anything I don't want to do. I get to make some decisions. I'll have some agency over my time, freedom that some people will probably, with the mindset that they're carrying, never achieve. And I'm fine about it. Like, you just got to watch sometimes you just got to watch people win to like learn your lesson. Lesson being never bet against Bitcoin. Shout outs to CoinGecko for being a continued resource for all this wonderful information. As stated before, at the start of this recording, Bitcoin was sitting at 106.61 with a Bitcoin dominance of 60.7%. Ethereum is at 8.83% on Ethereum dominance, and the gas fees on Ethereum are at 0.789 Gwei. It's a good time to move some money. Let's go to the top 3 trending coins per CoinGecko. Number 1, we have Ondo. Number 2, we have Bitcoin. And number 3, we have Sui. Solid. This is solid. Okay, people might be learning their lessons. I say this every week, and I hope and I pray that people kind of get on the train of prosperity and just go ahead and at least make sure your portfolio is heavily stacked with surefire winners. Okay, now moving on to the top 5 gainers and losers. We are looking at the gainers first. Hopefully everybody gets an opportunity to be on this list. Keep your ears to the ground because I got a feeling over the course of this bull run, eventually something you're holding is going to hit. And I want you to tap in with me down in the comments when it does. I like hearing about your guys' successes. At number 1, we have it ranked 664, collateralized with a gain of 51.5%. At number 2, we have at rank 930, we have Banker Coin with a gain of 23.7%. At number 3, which actually should be number 2, we have at rank 226, Kita with a gain of 24.4%. At number 4, at rank 480, we have Nero on ETH with a gain of 16.9% and last but not least, at number 5, which actually should be number 4, at rank 817, we have Revox with a gain of 17.9% in the last 24 hours. Moving on over to the losers. I hope you guys are never on this list, but if you are, hopefully it's a healthy retracement, an opportunity to bring down your dollar cost average on your position, or a good entry point for a token that you've been eyeing for a little while and you've been waiting for it to pull back so you can buy. Let's get to it. At number 1, we have at rank 636, Hot Mom, with a gain of 32.8%. You guys with these meme coins, I love it. Here for it. At number 2, we have at rank 582, APF coin, with a gain of 30.7%. At number 3, we have at rank 418, NIM, with a loss of 26.2%. At number 4, we have at rank 981, Moonpig, with a loss of 23%. And for those of you who can't see this Moonpig's actually, it's sort of adorable. It's a looks like a piglet in a spaceman outfit. And all right, what I look, I'm not a fan of meme coins, but that's kind of cute. I'll give it that. At number 5, we have at rank 976, we have Exio, with a loss of 23.2%, and that's rounding out our list. Now let's get into the good stuff. Let's see where we're at. On the day, we are down 0.2%. Overall, we are at a total loss of 21.5%. So we're still in the 20. We're gonna be grinding it out. Pulling up to the screen here. Oh, I went through that and didn't even add it to the stage, but we'll go ahead and pull it up now for the portfolio. Sorry about that. But for those of you who are listening, I don't watch most of this stuff anyways that I'm into on YouTube. You'll see me in the comments, as I've been making it a point to comment and support my content creators, fellow content creators, because I don't come up with all the ideas and I'm constantly researching. So I'm out here in these YouTube streets. I make it a point because I know that I need comments. I don't need them, but I like them. And what I've noticed is there are certain content creators, and normally they're the ones that I frequent more often than not. I have some that they've gotten too big to get down in the comments, but I appreciate the ones that do, because people will reply to my comments. Now I don't comment on this page, so you will never see future financial strategies. At least not until we're monetized, because I might switch my premium over to this page. Because it helps with your monetization. But I normally post and comment on my Reckless Raid to Narrow page. But once I get monetized, I might switch my premium over to this page and then just not subscribe to the stuff that I really don't. I watch on the other channel and just watch it and not sub to those channels. But most of the financial stuff that I'm on, I'll drop a comment, but it's under my Reckless Raid and Arrow page. So while I'm hosting on this page, obviously, I don't comment from this page. I comment from my other page that's forever shadow banned and only actually, I'm not even going to say only because I'm going to say only because we're almost to 400 subs. Also, congratulations to us. We got over 300 Wolfpack members, which is really cool. And I'm catching up on my page that was shadow banned, which forced me to create this page to just talk about and focus on the money. Because obviously, that is the most important thing. And most of the conversations I get drug into, the only thing that I care about is making sure that people are financially secure. Because I figure if you have your finances in order, 85% of the stress that we have goes away. When you can sleep at night, people aren't calling you, your wages aren't being garnished, they're not just taking your money. You're not having money issues. A lot of the stress comes out of your life. And for the other part, you can now afford therapy. So if you need to go to therapy, at least now you can pay for your mental health. Now you can go fix some stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just assuming that if you're in a bad state, of affairs. Being broken in a bad state of affairs is worse than having money and resources and being in a bad state of affairs. Because at least then you have the resources to address the problem should you choose to, because these come down to personal decisions. Money doesn't make you happy, but it does give you the opportunity to maybe fix some stuff that's messed up. So my focus is on making sure that people that agree with me, people that disagree with me, people that like me, people that don't like me, I put the game out here freely, and I know that it falls under the casting gems amongst swine in some cases, but like I care about my people in the Wolfpack. Like I enjoy those conversations. Those of you who've tapped in with me offline to talk about money, that makes my day. I like talking about money. I like talking about your successes. I like hearing about how you guys are winning. I like talking to you about strategy. I like doing all those things. And like we're all moving forward in the same direction together. So like obviously there's going to be the knuckleheads that don't like what we're rocking out with over here or how we're navigating. And it's like, cool, where's your portfolio? Where's your receipts? Let's have the conversation. I'd love to do that. We can set that up live to have that conversation. Nobody wants to talk to me because when you're telling the truth and you're not posturing on social media, I'm not standing in front of other people's cars. I'm not renting vehicles to go do videos in. When you aren't doing those things and you're just telling it like it is and you're breaking it down to just mathematics and you're showing receipts, you're showing your portfolio. Now, I'm fine with different ideologies when it comes to math and financial literacy. The only thing that you can debate is efficiency and efficacy. If all you're doing is trying not to lose money, then gigantic diversified portfolio with as many positions as possible is the best thing ever. I'm not seeing anyone who's gotten rich ever in my personal life that I've personally seen, that I've met, that I was like, hey, what did you do? And they were like, I bought the S&P 500 till I was rich, which is the reason that I am navigating and recording my journey, because there has to be a different narrative, because these people who get out here that are likely selling you something are going to tell you some stuff that's a generalized, washed version of something that you could do after you have something to protect. Like me personally, I built my portfolio, my wealth from zero by myself. I bought this place that I'm sitting in right now by myself. No one helped me. I have no parents gave me some front money for a down payment. I came up with all this on my own. All my cars, except for it wasn't my first one because I had to buy that. Well, no, my first car and my, I'd say, fourth car, I had to buy on my own dime. And the reason being was my fourth car was the newest car I'd ever purchased, and I didn't have credit yet. And God bless my stepfather. He co-signed for that car. He didn't give me a penny. He gave me the access to get the loan at a rate that I was going to be able to work with. Outside of that, my family has given me nothing. Period. Any of them. I did this myself. By myself. So yeah, I do beat my chest a little bit. But one of the things that I stopped doing once I started actually getting some progress was I stopped diversifying. Once I found my lane, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, I'm in that lane and I'm snug in it. I am not diversified because I am not rich yet. I can't leave my job. I don't necessarily want to get up super early in the morning. Like I do love getting up early to go to work, but I can't get up and leave and go there. And not have to go and be like, I don't want to do this. Oh, well, we're gonna, like I have to go get that. I have to go get that paper. I have to go get that W-2 income. For now. Now, once we get outside of that, then maybe we can start back ending into some stuff, because I'm gonna have enough money coming in that I'm not gonna spend it all, because unlike some of these other people who are in these Reddit forums that think apparently everyone is just living hand to mouth, I don't do that. So my investment money stays in investments unless it's earmarked for something else. My W-2 income pays bills. My income portfolio also pays bills at this point. We're trying to pay down some excess debt that we accrued, part of it to bootstrap the portfolio, so that way we can redeploy more debt to take that next, to get that phase 2 going. But I don't I don't look at some of these other YouTubers and their ideologies. They're usually selling something and they don't want to be wrong. And they not only do they not want to be wrong, they want to be so right that what they're doing is the best. I'm like, well, based on math, you are not doing what's the best. We make decisions based on math over here. So as like I'm not dedicated to what I'm doing, but what I'm doing is working. And unless somebody can mathematically be like, oh, you could make more income doing this or get more growth doing this, which mathematically we know is not true. Bitcoin is the best performing asset the last 15 years since its creation, period. Nothing's beat it. Nothing's come close. Further you zoom out, the worse it gets. You might be able to zoom into a narrow window and be like, oh, NVIDIA did better this 6 months. Okay, how's it done the rest of the time? Oh, well, this 6 months, this one thing did better. Okay. Oh, this month, this one thing did better. Well, I mean, if you're investing in that short term of a window, you're probably never going to get rich. I mean, I know that you can most assuredly, if you start at 20, invest in the S&P 500 for probably about 30 years, and you'd be able to retire at 50, and that's early. That's nice. If I was 20, I wouldn't be. I mean, honestly, if I would have known what I would have known now at 20, I would have been retired probably 5 years ago. To be honest, once all the pieces were in place, like Bitcoin wasn't around when I was 20, but like if I had the TradFi tools that we're using now, the high yield dividends, I would have been out. I would have done that. There's just no way possible. Like maximum growth or accelerating your income. We're put in a place where your average Joe, like me, like you, are forced to be in these markets. We have to be as efficient as possible. Like, I'm not trying to just keep up with inflation. I either want more income that I can redistribute to get outsized growth, or I could just buy Bitcoin. Like, if I was to say, if you're just going to do one thing and just set and forget, because I see a lot of these people in the forums, they find out about Misty, they find out about some of these other products that we're all involved in that I speak about. And then you guys graciously come over here, you give me words of encouragement, you give me your opinion. And I understand that a lot of these conversations just end up being this weird circle jerk where we're reinforcing each other. We're all happy we're part of the community. And, I'm happy to be part of the community. Misty's changed my life. It's changed my trajectory equally as much as Bitcoin has. But if I was going to do one thing as a set and forget, I would just buy as much Bitcoin as I could get my hands on and figure out how to not sell it until I was ready to retire. Like, if you're going to have to eating a portfolio of Bitcoin is probably going to be better off for you than, in my opinion, than eating a S&P 500 portfolio. Like, I would not want to live in that world. I would prefer the outsized ups with the volatility that comes with it and have all my money there and at least be making sure that I'm just stomping out inflation over the grand scheme of things and work from that if I was going to do one thing. Now, there's always a cost. For the people that have to eat their portfolios, we've seen these retirees have to go back to work because they're in the S&P 500 with their diversified portfolios, their terrible bonds, and not enough income now. Oh, and the market's down. So you're going to have to go put the fries in the bag now, bro. Market's down. Oh, market's up now. You can quit your job. Cool. You're back on retirement again. I don't want to be partially on retirement. If I want to stay home, I want to be able to stay home. If I want to go find employment or do something for money or do something for free, I want to be able to do that and not have to worry about paying my bills. the people who are going to win in this environment that we're going in through this wealth transfer are going to be the capital allocators. If you're not able to jump from thing to thing to thing, and you'll be able to piece them together to make a bulletproof, strategic, all-encompassing portfolio that different parts of it have different jobs. If you're not able to build a complete house, a complete financial house, you're not going to make it. You're always going to be worried. There's going to be a risk that you have to go back to work. And that's even if you just set and forget and do the Bitcoin thing. I think that there's a less likelihood of it with Bitcoin, in my opinion. I trust Bitcoin more than I trust the S&P 500 or the traditional finance system, because they are geared towards making you go to work until you're 70 or later, or whenever they allow you to retire. We're not supposed to be able to get out of this system early. Sorry for the rant. I'm going to do an episode on that. I'm earmarking it down. It's going to be a mindset. Actually, we're going to call it the winning financial. Actually, we're not even going to do that, because this is for us. This is for us. We're going to call it the Wolf Pack Mindset. That's going to be the episode, and we're going to have that conversation. I'm going to make it a whole episode. I'm probably going to go on a tangent for forever, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you guys like it, but that's going to be a conversation piece because it's important. And now that I've written it down, it's happening. So let's get to this list. At number 1, we have Solana. At number 2, we have Thorwallet DEX, or Solana SOL. At number 2, we have Thorwallet DEX TGT. At number 3, we have Ethereum ETH. At number 4, we have Aave AAVE. At number 5, we have Radium RAY. At number 6, we have Superverse SUPER. At number 7, we have Injective INJ. At number 8, we have Jupiter Perpetual Liquidity Provider Token JLP, always a mouthful. At number 9, we have Akash Network AKT, and last but not least, at number 10, we have Avalanche AVAX. Now, we're going to talk about transitioning. What are we transitioning? What are we doing? I'm going to keep this up on the screen for those of you who aren't looking. We still got that top 10 list up on the screen. We are making some adjustments and transitions. So what we are doing at this juncture, we've obviously waited till we had some worthwhile DeFi payments to cash out. So one of the things we're doing is we're going to take that pool of DeFi money, converting it over to Bitcoin, sending it to Cash App, and selling it. The other thing we're doing is, and along with that, to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger of a kicker, we were talking about transitioning out that Injective INJ. We had an allocation of that I was going to sell off, and I was kind of waiting because we are down in the dumps on that position. But I can convert that into income, so we are going to be transitioning that. We are moving it over to the income portfolio. Why is that? Well, a lot of these staked positions, like if it's not going in the bull run, I'm really going to be going through these positions and being like, hey, is it generating the kind of income I want? And if so, we're going to leave it for the bull run and see what it does. But like, I am really hawk eyeing my portfolios right now, because I'm like, yo, if every couple of months I'm not pulling out like $500 to $1,000 out of here to move over into the income portfolio, because that's where this income is going now, then I'm looking at clipping those positions. If I've got coins that I'm just sitting on that are just sitting, those are potentially going to get sold. I'm on the hunt for money. Like we're trying to bolster this income portfolio as much as possible. I'm getting ready to start piecing together some fundraising offers. I got some people that I'm looking at and like being like, hey, like, do you want to invest in me and making a little bit of money that I'm going to have to do internally, like obviously, or taking out some more loans. And after this debt is cleared, we're probably going to redeploy again. It depends on how these portfolios are looking, but I'm honestly considering all options, because now that I've got a taste and now that we're close, because I was doing I was looking and I was like, hey, like we're almost at 50%. Well, actually, I'm not going to even say that. I'm at parity for matching my income this year at this point. Like I can see it. And with that said, I'm very motivated to get as much money into this income portfolio as possible. As this debt's coming down, we're also hitting metrics. So by the end of this month, we should be ready for our first phase of the debt crusher, where we get to take another 5% and get those going into both, and get that 5% going into the portfolios. Again, the split on that is 4% more of my check into the Charles Schwab, 1% into the Robinhood. We're also ready to start transitioning over to using the Robinhood card as the daily driver from the Chase Sapphire, which is cool. We're also getting ready to book a trip, which is cool. I got a buddy's doing his wedding, but like after his wedding, he's going on a cruise, and like he invited a couple, like the people that are in the wedding. We all got invited to take part in the cruise, so I gotta book a trip. I'm booking a flight, like booking a trip. It's gonna be. I'm excited about it. We've got that in the hopper. We've got stuff moving. And the more that we start going down this path, like the more hype I get about it. And so for me, this transition is a slight de-risk, because I'm not going to act like Misty and the income portfolio and high yield dividends in and of themselves isn't risky. But compared to yield farming and crypto, I'm down 14% on my Misty position right now, under 14%. My crypto portfolio is still down. The active part of it is still down 20%. Bitcoin obviously is outperforming everything right now. We're still, waiting for this blow off top bull run, because then this is going to go into Ethereum and Bitcoin. Those, if honestly, this has me really like, after this year, the deployment of capital will be going. I would just deploy it into the income portfolio at this point. Like, there's no reason for me to necessarily go through this rigmarole. After this bull run, we'll kind of be having our eyes set on some positions, but I don't know that I'll be deploying an altcoin portfolio like this. Like, this might transition into just me talking about the strategy behind the few alts that make it. We're gonna. I think this bull run, we're gonna have a good idea of the alts that are gonna make it, and then the portfolio moving forward will be us making plays on those chains and those positions. There's not a reason to take the excessive risk, especially if TradFi is giving us such great income options. Like, it's not comparable. It's not at all. I have no reason to go risk money yield farming, or risking the impermanent loss of yield farming, if I have all the access to make regular monthly income at 100+ % with Misty. Like, there's no reason for me to do this, because I know MicroStrategy. I know what's going to happen with, I don't know, but I have a really strong thesis and belief on what's going to happen with MicroStrategy. I have a really strong thesis and belief on what's going to happen with Bitcoin. All of which benefit Misty. Get paid the whole way up. Is it going to be volatile? Absolutely. We're going to see dips? Absolutely. And when we go under that cost average, we turn it on the Misty spigot again. Once we get to these 2,000 shares, because that's where I'm currently at, is just trying my hardest to get to 2,000 shares of Misty. We're currently over 1,500, which is in the range. I wanted to get between 1,500 and 2,000, but I looking forward, I was like, I need to get to 2,000. So the only, every time I talk about buying something else, I'm going to be buying Misty until we're back at my cost basis. Once we hit that, then I'll work on my other positions. But until we get to that point, I'm just going to buy Misty. Like, I'm going to buy it indiscriminately. I'm going to buy it indefinitely. I'm always going to be buying it because A, it's pulling my cost average down. B, it's increasing my monthly income. C, if I can get to 2,000 shares before August, oh boy. Oh boy. And so we're de-risking this money because on the back end of that, once this debt's cleared up and we bring some of those metrics down, I'm going to just be pure buying Bitcoin and Ethereum with some of that dividend income. Because we're not using that dividend income for anything but clearing the outstanding debt that we had, which is all sitting in 0% interest positions. We're on maintenance right now because for the up until August, we're doing everything that we can to get to those 2,000 shares. Now, once I get to the 2,000 shares, we're going to start attacking the debt monthly because then we'll be getting a very large payout from Misty. And I'm looking at if everything goes as planned and the market holds up and we're looking good, come August, Misty has a double pay. So like we're going to be in a position to where we can wipe out likely. If I get to 2,000 shares, I'm fully thinking that we're going to be wiping out the majority or close to the majority of the debt that we have sitting there. Now, depending on how this capital comes in, because I do have a couple of one, I've got one lever because we're all out of dry powder. All the bulk Bitcoin that we had sitting on Cash App has all been transitioned. We got the last payment coming in this week. So that dry powder's dead, which is why we're going to the next source of dry powder, which is our DeFi money. Which, it'll get us another little boost. And then after that, I've got like one lever left, which if I do in fact pull that lever, we'll do an episode on how we're busting that bag down. I've got one lever left of powder. And then it's just like, hey, like what we got's what we got. And like, this is it. But if I pull that last lever should push me over the edge, over the spigot, however we want to look at that for getting into position on Misty. So I do think I have enough money to do it that's available right now. And it's just kind of like we're getting it in there and working through it. But the crypto piece of it is always going to be a big part of my portfolio. But honestly, I've got another target for myself. I want to get another I'm not going to say half a Bitcoin because that's just, I mean, I don't know. It just depends because if I'm not doing anything else with the dividend income, like I'm going to be taking a big chunk of that and just buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like I do want to get to 32 Ethereum, but I also would like to get to, I'd like to get another half Bitcoin because then I can leverage my Bitcoin. And if I can leverage my Bitcoin, then I can start buying, I can use that leverage to start levering up my Bitcoin holdings, but I could also use it to lever up my income holdings and then, pay that back while buying some more Bitcoin. So there's a couple of interesting things that we can do in regards to that, but I need some more Bitcoin. So we're definitely on the Bitcoin bandwagon. I do want my 32 ETH also, but focus is focus because right now we can't leverage ETH into real world money, but you can leverage Bitcoin into real world money. And yeah, so I think that's where we're going to close it out on this episode. It went a little bit long-winded because I had a couple of rants in there, but let me know At what point do you stop taking the maximum risk? At what point do you look at the tools available and start adjusting your strategy? I think that's kind of where I'm sitting with my crypto portfolio right now. It's like the tools that are available. I'm like, I have positions that I really like, and then I have positions that I'm like, eh. And the positions, I'm like, if you're not paying, if you're not doing what I need you to do I need you sitting here like this? And that's the question I'm consistently asking myself. And I constantly pour back through my portfolio, and I'm like, cool, I wanted to have like 10 firm positions. And like, I went at it VC style like I have in years prior. And then I found Misty. I found the high yield space. And now I'm like, I don't need to do that. Like I can do that with stuff because I'm always going to look for a way to generate income off the positions I want to be in. And I can do that with those positions. At that same time, I'm like, okay, so like all these VC positions, we've seen some positions blow up. I mean, a lot of this portfolio is blown up. We're still down over 20%. And it's like, well, and I've done this with my traditional finance portfolio and was fine about it. I'm like, cool, I'll tax loss harvest these positions that aren't performing. I'll put them into the horse that I should have just had everything in the first place, and we'll do that. And now it's like, okay, so now we get into the crypto portfolio. I'm like, this is the same thing. This is the exact same thing. And then I can turn it into income that I can use to buy Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, all of this is to gather more Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because those are my two. I always add Chainlink. That's my top three. But like my two are Bitcoin and Ethereum, overarchingly, more than anything that's in any of the other portfolios, is Bitcoin and Ethereum. I still have more Bitcoin and Ethereum than I do my traditional finance portfolio, and that portfolio is getting pretty big. It's pretty nice. Like you open it up and it's like, hey, my portfolio stack over in my Charles Schwab that are like mine, because like I obviously have that family fund that's attached over there for those of you who tap in for the portfolio updates, but it's like it's over $42,000 in there. Like that's a good chunk of money. And the majority of it is making money. And like those are things that I would have never happened had I not gotten into Bitcoin. And like that's the reason I am such a believer in Bitcoin, because I see the difference in my life. Even though it's like, oh, well, you're not buying crypto. You have 40 something $1,000 in traditional finance portfolio. I'm like, yeah, I started that a year ago. That's a year of work for me with the skills that I picked, the skills and stratagem that I picked up in crypto. As soon as it came over to the TradFi side, I followed it. I'm like, cool, I'll go be around the money. Like, where's the money at? Like, we can monetize the Bitcoin that I just have sitting in cold storage. I can get some sort of income and cash flow so that I can buy more Bitcoin and put that in cold storage. Absolutely. All tools are on the table, even the ones that I don't like, because I don't like the traditional finance space. But I'll take the money. I don't have to like it. I'm going to take the money and I'm going to put it in something so that I can be rich forever. Like, why would you not do that? I'm going to go ahead and take that income so that I can not have to go to jobs I don't want. So I can not do work that I don't want to do. So I can maybe go find fulfilling things. You know what I'm saying? Like what all the rich people say, like money can't buy happiness. You're absolutely right. But if I don't have to go to the job that I don't want to go to, I can find the job that I want to go to. And then I don't have to worry about the pay. I can do what I want. And I'd like a taste of that. Like while I'm still of sound mind and body, while I can still, I'm still mobile. I don't want to grind myself away indefinitely. And then when they tell me I'm allowed to retire after I'm spent and no longer useful to the system, then I can go figure out how to be happy. Like, no, I'm going to go figure out how to be happy while my limbs still move the way I want them to. That's what I'm going to do. So hope you guys got value out of this. It's been another great episode. Tap in with me down in the comments. I know I had a few rants. That's kind of what I do sometimes. I've got my vitamins in order. I've got my supplements in order. And I am pretty much trying to make sure that if it's a day that I've got good energy like today, I'm going to come lay it down for you. And there's going to be rants. There's going to be the look squirrel, but it's a controlled look squirrel. I'm doing better. And I want you guys to tap in with me because like these are real conversations. I know I'm sitting in a room talking to my phone with a lens on it, which is the most narcissistic thing ever. I mean, I'm never going to get over this, but I'm talking to myself, talking to you. So like talk back to me down in the comments below, please, so that I don't feel like a crazy person. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Hit the like. Those of you who have tapped in for the first time and had to just sit through that craziness, if you got value out of it, share it because it like puts me out in the algorithm and then more people find out about me. I think I'm doing a pretty good job over here. Hit the subscribe, tap that bell notification, turn it all on, join the Wolfpack formerly. For those of you who are ghost watching, I appreciate you for ghost watching, but I'd like it better if you joined us because we're not trying to get rich by ourselves because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, nothing that should be frowned on more, in my opinion, than people who are eating at their table and everyone else is starving because they need to feel better than other people. We're giving the gems to everybody. Everybody who watches this knows exactly the strategies that I'm using, and you're more than welcome to test them in your lives. This is not financial advice. This is one person's journey out of, I guess, what's left of the middle class. And you know, a documented adventure in finance to show what's possible. Because I'm not smarter than any of you. I guarantee I'm less educated than most of the people who watch my content. I just am willing to try stuff. I'm willing to fail. And I found my lane and found something that leveled the playing field so that I'm not going to, I would say a C- student who's good at financial math could piece some stuff together and, you know, get a little bit of a result that's not supposed to happen statistically based on the outcomes that the system in place projects for people like myself. So till the next episode, people, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are out of here. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.